When most of us think about the history of economic thought, Adam Smith comes to mind, Karl Marx comes to mind, and maybe if we paid a bit more attention, Aristotle. But there is another truth, one that is rarely talked about, and almost never taught in Western history. Nearly 1,000 years ago, long before capitalism existed, before central banks, before stock markets were even imaginable, a Muslim thinker issued a warning that explains almost every financial crisis we live through today. He said this: "The moment money loses its moral compass, society begins to rot from the inside." And let's be honest, when you look at the world we live in today, doesn't it feel like he understood us better than we understand ourselves? Welcome to History and Economics, to the place where money, power, and history intersect, and where nothing is ever as simple as it seems. To understand al-Ghazali, let's take a short journey back in time. The year is around 1100. Europe is poor, fragmented, still struggling to recover from the ruins of the Middle Ages. But at the same time, the Islamic world is in a completely different place. A vast geography stretching from Al-Andalus to Persia. Wealthy cities, crowded markets, vibrant trade routes. Baghdad, Damascus, Cairo. These are not just cities. They are the financial and intellectual centers of the age. Caravans carry silk, spices, and silver. Scholars debate philosophy, law, medicine, and astronomy. Money circulates. Trade expands, wealth grows, and it is exactly in this environment that one man emerges, Hamid al-Ghazali. Ghazali was not an ordinary religious scholar. He was a philosopher, a jurist, a theologian, and a critic of the system all at once. He questioned the meaning of the soul and the purpose of money with the same intensity. Born in 1058, he rose to the top at a very young age. By his mid-30s, he held one of the most prestigious positions in the Islamic world. But what made him different was not his status. What made him different was his willingness to say, "Something is not right," because he noticed something unsettling. Society was getting richer, but not more peaceful. Markets were expanding, but people were not more fulfilled. Money was multiplying, but meaning was disappearing. Sound familiar? Ghazali asked a simple but dangerous question. What happens when a society becomes rich before it becomes wise? And in searching for the answer, he turned his attention directly to money itself. This is where most people are surprised. Ghazali was not only concerned with religious matters, he analyzed money, markets, and economics deeply, but not through numbers. He analyzed them through human behavior. To him, money was not a goal. It was never something to be worshipped. Money was just a tool. He compared money to a mirror. A mirror has no value on its own. Its value comes from what it reflects. Money is the same way. Not because it is gold or silver, but because it allows people to trade, cooperate, and build together. And from this, he reached a harsh conclusion. Hoarded money is dead money. Money locked away in chests, hidden, kept out of circulation harms society. Because when money stops moving, workers stop earning, trade slows, and markets suffocate. Ghazali described this as freezing the bloodstream of society. But his concern was not just greed, it was systemic. When the wealthy hoard money, they create artificial scarcity, not because resources are missing, but because circulation is blocked. Prices distort, trust erodes, people suffer. Then he made another clear statement. Speculation destroys trust. Those who profit from crises, manipulate prices, or exploit people in difficult situations were never innocent in his eyes. To him, this was not cleverness and it was decay. Whoever profits from the suffering of others, he said, profits from corruption. And corruption spreads. Now stop and think. Bubbles, crises, price manipulation, profiteering. Is there really any difference between what he wrote 900 years ago and what we see today? Ghazali was not against trade. On the contrary, he believed trade was natural and necessary. He was not against profit. What he opposed was dishonest profit, lying, false weights, hiding defects, withholding information, because markets survive on trust. And when trust collapses, the economy collapses with it. He placed great value on labor. Money earned through work strengthens a person, he argued, while wealth gained through manipulation and effort-free schemes corrupts them. His logic was simple. Societies grow through contribution and collapse through exploitation. Then he turned his attention to the state, to rulers. In the Middle Ages, rulers often debased currency, diluting gold and silver, the old version of modern inflation. Ghazali gave this practice a clear name. Theft, because it meant stealing from the people quietly. It hurt the poor the most. It destroyed trust. It erased faith in money itself. And he made a prediction. If a state manipulates its currency, people will abandon it. 1,000 years later, this is exactly what happened in Weimar Germany, Venezuela, and Zimbabwe. Ghazali's central message was clear. A society can survive poverty, but it cannot survive corruption. Economies do not collapse because money runs out. They collapse because trust runs out. Money is, at its core, a belief system. And when people stop believing, the system collapses. Ghazali understood human nature deeply. People hoard out of fear. They speculate out of greed. They cheat when they believe they won't be caught. And when everyone is doing it, they justify themselves. But the moment exploitation becomes normal, collapse has already begun. That is why he said this. If you want to fix an economy, you must first fix the incentives. What a system rewards is what people become. And if a system rewards cunning instead of honesty, the outcome is inevitable. To Ghazali, wealth itself was not bad, but wealth without responsibility was dangerous. Societies rise when people give more than they take, but when everyone thinks only of themselves, the system becomes fragile. And when it collapses, it does not discriminate between rich and poor. That is why Ghazali still feels so relevant today. Debt bubbles, distrust, inequality. It all feels like it was described 1,000 years ago. The only difference is this: we still refuse to listen, because history does not repeat itself exactly. But if you don't understand it, it will come back and catch you anyway. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History has the answers, and I'll show you where to look.